Today for Mousetrap Monday, I have another really old style mousetrap that I recreated from a book that was written in 1590 by Mascall. That makes this mousetrap design over 427 years old. I've been recreating a lot of traps out of that book, and what I noticed is that even though these designs are so old, they're really complex and most of them work quite well. This trap is the first live animal trap that I've recreated out of that book. A lot of people have been asking, so I'll list the title right there so you can look it up for reference. You'll notice the title's really long, and back then they spelled words differently. But if you want to see pictures of this trap, reference that title. This is called the double trap to take mice and rats. It's called a double trap because it's two separate traps connected by a center board. We have one on this side and another on this side. And the way it works is we have a door that opens and closes on a hinge, and they enter through there. There's a little trigger in the middle, and you have bars in the back. That way you can look in and see what you caught. The way you set this is it has a string and toggle here tied to the door. I'll flip it around. Now in the book they reference this as a string and click it. It goes up like this, goes over this post. I put a little groove in the top there, and then there's a notch right there to catch this side of the toggle. Now the hook I made out of a wire. It's just a wire that I did a little loop and did it to a staple right there, and has a hook that clicks in to the toggle. Now you put bait on that, so as the animal enters, it'll go in there, pull that bait, and the door will close. Really simple. Now I have noticed a major flaw with this trap design, and I haven't figured out how to fix it. And that is, you can either make this hook not very sensitive and the animal really has to work at it, but then sometimes the animal can come in, get your bait, and leave. So what I want to do is make it as sensitive as possible. But when I do that, the problem is when you have a double trap like this, and once that goes off, they both go off. So a lot of times you'd only catch mice or rats on one side. Now you can make this less sensitive, so when that comes slamming down, it won't set it off, but then you might not catch the animal. I've also tried lowering this, but it doesn't take much at all to actually set it off. It jolts it. So we're going to set up this trap and see if we can catch our pet mice just to see how it works. And then we'll go set up the motion cameras in the barn and try to catch some wild mice, or maybe even a rat. We'll see. Our pet mouse went into the trap, touched that trigger, and the door closed. Both sides closed just as I suspected. Let's go test this out with wild mice in the barn with motion cameras. I'm pretty sure the same thing will happen. A mouse will go in there, touch the trigger, and both doors will close. But let's go test it out and see how it works. Last night I set up our Mascall live catch mouse and rat trap, and I caught something that I've never caught before around here. This is a mouse, and it looks like a regular mouse. A lot of people will deal with this species of mouse. This is a house mouse, so this is not native to where I live in North America. 99.9% of the mice that I catch in my videos are deer mice. That's a native species. And this is one that's brought in. So I'm not going to release this guy. I'm actually going to keep him as a pet and help demonstrate for Mousetrap Monday live catch traps. Now they said this trap's good for catching both mice and rats. So I'm going to test this out with rats. I'm going to go set this up in the barn. It's a little small, but we'll see if we can make it work. Let's go test this out and see if we can catch a rat after we put this guy in his new cage. "427 years ago, Mascall wrote in his book that this double trap was capable of catching mice and rats. I was a little skeptical about the rats. I didn't know if they'd go in, and if they did, I wasn't sure if they'd be able to lift up the door. But sure enough, we set this up in the barn last night. A rat went in, the door went down, and it actually stayed in here. A couple times in the night, it tried to lift up the door, but it didn't lift it up all the way, so he's still in there. Now this is a native wood rat or a pack rat. It's not a Norway rat or a black rat or those invasive species. So I'm going to take this out in the wild and let him go. It's a really big rat, and I can't believe he went in there and got caught in this 427-year-old live catch mouse trap. Okay, we're going to open this door and the rat should come running right out of there. He's been in there all night. That's one big rat. Come on out. The Mascall double trap to catch mice and rats. The design works really well. I just would build it as a single, not a double, but overall I'm amazed with the results.